Today I'm going to go over what file-based InsertEdit is and how it can be used in your post-finishing and online workflow. Simply put, Synodec's file-based InsertEdit technology allows you to replace specific frames of video and audio in a closed, flat file without re-export. Only the segment of the file that you replaced is new, while the remainder of the file is still the same file. Here's a good example of where InsertEdit can come in handy. Let's say you have a show from last year that you've just sold for distribution internationally and need to create new slates or texted versions for every episode. File-based InsertEdit will help you make changes to your master files without the need to re-export every episode. InsertEdit understands where the content is located in files, allowing you to frame accurately replace specific frames of video, audio, or closed captions. Because changes are being written into the essence of your file, compatibility is maintained. More specifically, the header metadata of your file is completely untouched, ensuring compatibility. And the resulting file, after inserting, is the same file. It's just that new content was inserted. You may be wondering what type of QC insert-edited files I've gone through. We have rigorously tested with industry-leading QC software like Bayton, Aurora, and Eyes, as in human eyes. It's important to note that file-based InsertEdit is not a metadata pointing tool. InsertEdit actually overwrites new video and audio essences in your closed flat file. Also, the file you're inserting into can have been exported or mastered from any device or NLE as long as it's a supported codec and wrapper. Synodec ingest devices support a wide range of codecs, resolutions, and wrappers, so it's no surprise that InsertEdit supports a variety of popular delivery formats and wrappers. Our deck control feature works with a growing list of NLEs, and InsertEdit is resolution independent. This means that when you need to make a small change to your 4K file, you can insert the change on Synodec instead of re-exporting out your entire 4K file again. I'm going to go over some workflow comparisons so you can see just how much time InsertEdit can save you. First is a traditional tape intermediate workflow for an hour-long program. Your edit is finished, you lay off to your tape deck and do a full confidence record during the layoff. You see a mistake and insert a 1-minute shot for the fix. Then you would encode the tape to a file, do a full visual QC of the file, and finally, you're done. The total time required is give or take 2 hours. Next, let's take a look at the NLE export method for the same hour-long program. Again, your edit is finished. You export your file, which could take real time or longer. While QCing the file, you notice a mistake. So now you go back into your NLE and make your fix. Start the export again. Do a full visual QC of the file after the re-export, and finally, you're done. The total time required to fix one mistake is 2 hours. Finally, let's take a look at the same hour-long program using InsertEdit to make the 1-minute change. Your edit is finished, you lay off to Synodec and do a full confidence record during the layoff of the actual file that you are laying off. If you are laying off to a Synodec VMM, as in the workflow diagram above, you can open the file as it's being laid off to, since the VMM is already a complete normal file and because all Synodec files are quick start. We'll get into VMM workflows a little bit later. You see a mistake and insert a 1-minute shot for the fix using your NLE's digital cut tool or print to tape function. Here's where the differences start. You would QC only the new insert as you would have done on tape, and you're done in 2 minutes. Versus the 2 hours it would take to make the same fix with a tape intermediate or NLE export method. InsertEdit allows you to eliminate the QC time for re-exported or re-encoded files, and this is where you start gaining real efficiency. From the workflow comparisons we just went through, you saw that InsertEdit can save you a lot of time. Now let's look at some numbers. We've asked some industry friends to help us put this together, and here's what we came up with. For both a tape intermediate and NLE export workflow, the time for a change to an hour-long program will run about 2 hours, with labor costs of $125 to $150 per change. In our diagram, we stated that an InsertEdit would take about 15 minutes, but that's assuming the actual insert is about 15 minutes long. If your actual insert is only 2 minutes, then your labor costs are roughly $3 per change. So you can see that InsertEdit can help your bottom line immediately. In comparing Cinedeck to a tape deck, Cinedeck ingest devices offer even more functionality. Each channel on a Cinedeck behaves just as an SRW tape deck would, so a 2-channel unit would replace 2 SRWs, while a 4-channel model would replace 4 SRWs. Also, each channel has independent RS-422, so you can have up to 4 NLEs controlling each of the 4 independent channels on a single deck. We've developed a workflow for online mastering using VMM, Virtual Mastering Media. Virtual Mastering Media is a pre-formatted, pre-created file with the appropriate frame rate, number of audio channels, codec, wrapper, and whether or not your file has a closed caption track. To use VMM in your workflow, insert content as it's ready to your blacked file. Once the final video, audio segment, or closed caption track is inserted, the file is complete without the need to export. The workflow is very similar to working with pre-black tape, and a number of our clients use VMM exclusively when delivering shows because it allows them to create a preset structure for each show. Using VMM can help eliminate some human error that can wreak havoc on a show deliverable that needs to be the same for every episode. VMM can be useful when delivering a show with multiple slates. Create and QC your broadcast master that has been laid off to a VMM. Duplicate your master file for as many slates needed. Insert your slates and QC a little before and a little after the newly inserted slate. Once you've QC'd your newly inserted slate, you're done. There's no re-export or re-render. Multi-slate deliverables that would have taken hours can be completed in minutes. There are production applications for VMM as well. Since InsertEdit works with all baseband video, a live-to-file recording can be achieved, much in the same way live-to-tape was once done. Start recording to your VMM, stop, and set an endpoint for where you want to start again, and then continue recording and repeat as desired. Once you stop recording, you're done. The file is complete and ready to go without requiring an export or render. VMMs can be as short as 1 minute or as long as 24 hours. You can even go past 24 hours if you want. Since a VMM is a pre-existing closed file, and all that is happening is some video frames or audio are being replaced or written into this container, in the event of a failure, nothing bad happens. The record process simply stops, and when everything is up and running again, you can just start where you left off. There are considerable benefits to working with VMM. A library of VMM can be created for each show with various frame rates, qualities, audio channels, etc. and can be stored offline or even on a USB 3 drive. When you're ready to use your VMM, simply copy it across your network to where the files are being written to. And InsertEdit your content to your pre-formatted VMM. Or you can create VMMs on the fly since it's a much faster than real-time process. For instance, an hour-long show will take under 10 minutes to create depending on your network speed. Since you're working with a pre-made and complete file, you are guaranteed that each output for a show is the same every time. Also, if your media goes offline or if your NLE crashes during your layoff, you can pick up the output where you left off. And finally, you can lay off segments as they are completed with no need to export the entire timeline at the end. Once the final segment is inserted, you're done. Since our official release of file-based InsertEdit, thousands of hours of network deliverables have been insert-edited into with Cinedeck. If you'd like to take a closer look at Cinedeck and InsertEdit, visit our website www.cinedeck.com or email us at info@cinedeck.com.